What's going on, guys? I'm Dr. P and welcome back today for another video. Now in today's video, guys, we have some seriously huge information to go over. Last night we got new items and new skins into the item shop, and we just need to talk about it because I feel like they really relate to the future of the storyline in regards to Kevin returning as well as the dragons. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe so you never miss out on any awesome content. We actually just hit 400k subs, so huge shout out to the Fruit Faction. Really appreciate it. Join the family if you haven't already. Of course, if you're ever buying any V-Bucks, make sure to use my supported creator code. It's PineapplesYT. Huge shout out to my homies using my code on screen right now. Really appreciate you guys. If you want a shout out in the next video, it's super simple. Just send me a screenshot proving that you are supporting me, and I'll get you on soon. So at this point, there are no strangers about the theory of Kevin coming back as well as the dragon eggs. These theories have been constantly growing, constantly getting more and more traction as we figure more stuff out about it. Epic has done a good job of teasing things slowly but surely, and I talked about previous item shop teases as well when they dropped the Dark Bomber set back into the item shop a couple days after Kevin the Cube started to be seen in the lobby loading screens. Epic is not shy about teasing things very clearly in their item shop with their skins and with the items that they put out. I want to show you the current item shop because I truly feel like this is something amazing, one of the biggest hints we have ever gotten, and it seems to be very clear in broad daylight. So without any further ado, here is the item shop. You can see there are two new skins. One is called Lace, and the second one is called Paradox. Now, there's also a pickaxe for it called Vision, which is essentially just a shovel with a bunch of spikes, and there's an eye. A huge eye right on the pickaxe. There's also a glider called the Equilibrium. The first thing you'll notice about the glider is it looks so much like Lucky Landing, and we are getting towards the Chinese New Year, which is in February, so that might have been a hint for something coming in the future around that time. But anyway, there is something huge about these two skins. Let's take a look at the Paradox skin. If you look at the place right under his mouth, kind of on his eyes, there's a decoration on him that has what appears to be something that resembles Kevin the Cube. So we all know Kevin, like I said before, has been rumored to come back. There have been multiple hints, multiple evidences we've used to go over this and back this up, but it just seems like they keep adding more and more fuel to the fire. What else could we possibly think a cube-like object on a skin is, after we just got a lot of hints and a lot of Easter eggs about Kevin coming back and returning into the game? It just seems like the most likely answer, considering everything that's gone on around the game in the past few weeks. Let's very briefly look at all of the evidence we have supporting Kevin's return. Well, for one, he showed up in lobby loading screens. There's also something that's glitched underneath Polar Peak that looks a lot like one of his former rune sites. The disco ball, when it came down for the New Year's event, had all of those same strange runes the cube did. And now we can see Kevin the Cube, or at least something that looks very much like him, showing up on this skin, the Paradox skin. But that's not even the half of it. There's still more information hidden within these skins, and this is crazy. Some of you might have noticed the dragon-like feature that is on the front of the Paradox's shirt, the same with Lace. You can see dragons basically eating their own tails right on their clothing. It's pretty clear. So obviously, right away that clicked with me as a hint or a sign of some sort towards the eggs that are hatching in Polar Peak. There have been way too many hints about dragons to not think that the eggs are going to hatch dragons. Also, considering it's in a castle dungeon, that's where a lot of those eggs hatch. Seems like Epic is trying very hard to tell us we should be worried about dragons, and that's basically what they are. Something really interesting to me is the set these skins are actually in, these items are in. It's actually in something called the Ouroboros set, so I thought that's interesting. Let's look up what Ouroboros is. I looked it up, and essentially the definition is a circular symbol depicting a snake, or, less commonly, a dragon, swallowing its tail as an emblem of wholeness or infinity. That is definitely what's going on here. It's very clearly one of these Ouroboros with dragons eating its tail. Now, The definition did say it's more commonly going to be a snake or a serpent of some kind, which is ironically enough what our second option for the eggs would be. If it's not going to be a dragon, there's plenty of evidence to support that it could be some kind of a sea snake or sea monster. So, this lines up pretty well. The amount of times people have been asking me what's going to happen with the eggs and when exactly it's going to happen has been astonishing. There are so many people that are invested into this storyline, and it's awesome to see. But we may actually have an indication as to when the eggs are going to hatch, as to when something serious and major with the castle is going to happen. And this is something that I think is amazing. It's really going to blow your mind. So if you take a look at a quick Google image search for the word Ouroboros and you look at what comes up, you can see snakes and dragons eating their own tails exactly like the description said, but the difference is they're in straight circles. They're in O's, eating their own tails in a round circular pattern. Now, in Fortnite, on the new skins, it's actually a little different. They're dragons eating their own tails by forming an 8. I, for one, am a firm believer this is signaling that something major is going to happen for the next season, which, ironically enough, is Season 8. Season 7 still has 50 days. They had to extend it by a little bit because it fell during the Christmas holidays and people were obviously going to be out and not in the studio. So they added 2 weeks to this season. But nonetheless, when this season is over, Season 8 is going to be huge. I wonder if the dragons are going to come before Season 8 or right during Season 8 when it begins. I'm not sure, but one thing they are trying to tell us I'm confident of with these new skins, and especially the Ouroboros forming an 8, because it clearly did not have to. Most Ouroboros are circles. You rarely ever see the twisted 8 like that, and it's clearly planned out. I mean, look at everything. All the hints that we have, this cannot be a coincidence. So just to give you a very brief summary, the new skins have Kevin the Cube on it, and they also have a dragon twisted up forming the number 8, eating its own tail. That has got to be a hint saying Season 8, it's going down. Now that doesn't mean it couldn't go down earlier to set everything up, much the same way the iceberg and the meteor were doing in previous seasons. You know, they were there for many weeks before the next season dropped, and it helped build a lot of hype and a lot of suspense for the upcoming season. That's what I feel like they're doing with the dragons, and we could see them start to awaken and start to hatch before the end of Season 8. But at the very worst, Season 8's when it's going to happen. That's gotta be what they're trying to tell us with these new skins. In the comment section down below, I have a huge question for you guys, because we have been in Season 7 for a while now. Over a month, we've been talking about the castle and the eggs for a long time. It's gotten to the point where soon something has got to give. There's got to be a big moment where, you know, the eggs hatch or something is revealed that's very secret inside the castle, where something happens to further advance the storyline. We're going to start getting more loading screens for the season very soon. Everything is looking up for something happening extremely soon. Now that could be in a week, in a few days, I don't know, but there's got to be a big catalyst event, and I'm curious to see what you guys think is going to happen. Based on all the information that I've given you in this video and videos past, what do you think the dragons are going to do, and how do you think they're going to pertain to this season and next season's storyline? Clearly, at least in my opinion, it looks like it's going to be very big, maybe even the biggest event we've had up to this point, considering just how big of an item those eggs have become. It's something that most people, well, at least I do, I check on them daily because I want to provide updates to you guys, but it's gotten to the point where I've seen lots of you guys tweeting me updates for the eggs saying, yo, I'm checking it out, nothing's going on. It's become huge for every player to go and check up on the eggs at least once in a while, and I'm pretty sure most players know about it, so Epic's doing a good job building up the hype and building up the suspense for the game, and I'm extremely excited to see what happens. Make sure to leave your thoughts down below, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Peace out.